close till I get up. Time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go. Through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go. See the horizon turn us to thousands, and we'll grow in number, fueled by them. To see the horizon turn us to thousands, and on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And
sleep till I come home, dream of something sweet. I will be there soon to wake you so discreet.
tre.
Get some booms in the chat, everybody, and welcome to this walkthrough of the Textguide stream with me and Mr. RJTV. Welcome. How are you doing with that bottle of water? It was not Pepsi or something. It's water, right?
Yeah, it's generic LaCroix.
Oh my god.
I'm doing great. I had a birthday, and my mom hooked me up with this awesome automatic microphone. Watch this. Hey Siri, give me my microphone.
Yeah, would be lovely if it would be Siri on it, so you can talk it down.
Definitely.
That would be super cool.
Definitely, right.
And welcome everyone in the chat as well. Seeing so many people in there, already 150 people in here. We have just been talking a little bit of crap like we always do and having fun, And we're both very glad to have you all in here. And we're gonna go over the Textguides in the tournament for the Tropic Kings Tournament starting tomorrow, Monday 29th of April. I first want to apologize for yesterday. For some reason, YouTube has a problem with when you schedule the streams. And it happens a lot, I feel. I schedule it on Sunday, and then it came out as a notification yesterday on Saturday. For those of you that jumped in there hoping for a stream, I do sincerely apologize to you all that I took those minutes of your day there. It wasn't my intention to fool you, but just to have it said. So, and as always for this stream, this is going to be a little bit special. We are still going to interact with you guys in chat, but we're going to focus on going over the holes. Otherwise, we're going to be here for several hours. And even though we would love to, we still have a new day tomorrow, and the tournament starts tomorrow. I'm going up early to stream. So, we're going to take hole by hole. Start with hole 1. After the hole, we're going to open up for some questions. If there is any question, we're going to go for hole number 2. So, then we're going to... And then after hole 2, we take a couple of questions if there is any, and so forth. And if you do want to get the text guides for the tournament, you write !tournament in chat. You will get a link to the Imgur folder where you can find all the holes for the text guides here. I also want to say that on Thursday, don't miss out on that stream. I'm gonna stream from Playdemic's own office in UK, Manchester. So I'm gonna stream from there on Thursday. I can't wait. Actually, it's gonna be it's gonna be awesome. I'm gonna be a nervous wreck, but gonna be awesome. I have a problem talking to people. RJ. This problem.
A problem talking to people. You're a streamer, but you have a problem talking to people.
Yeah, it's like I try to visualize it's just one in chat, and stuff.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Yeah, I do that too.
Jeremy, hi RJ and Tommy, what time will you stream tomorrow? Thank you so much, bro, for the $2. Much appreciated. Give Jeremy some boom and some love in the chat. So I'm gonna stream at what will that be? 3 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, like when the tournament starts. At the clock, I'm gonna stream all the divisions, so like a little bit of a marathon stream tomorrow directly. Take a look at the wind and stuff. So, okay, let's go. Hole number 1, one course of the Oasis. So I'm gonna let you start, RJ. How do we play this hole from front tee?
All right. Well, I just want to say 2 things real quick. Number 1 is I think it's awesome that you do those 3 o'clock streams for us Yankees who are usually asleep at that time. Man, there's nothing like waking up and watching someone play the wins that we're going to play. Because you play either all 3 or 4 of the tournaments. Yeah, so if whatever you're looking for, it's in there. And if you can't get to it till noon or 8 in the morning, it's already there. It's uploaded. So just wanted to say big thank you, Tommy, for having that out like the minute the tournament comes out. And the second thing I want to say is I grinded this tournament, but I did a lot of grinding in Tour 7. So if I feel like I made some common sense changes, but if I'm off by a little bit, Tommy, please correct me. Like if I say use a rocket here or something and you're like, actually a rocket won't reach, take Tommy over me because I feel really strongly, really good about this. I just, I'm having second thoughts now that we're live on the air. But anyway,
yes.
The very first hole, I don't feel that way. And that is the black line. I know the white line looks very similar in terms of distance of the club. and everything, but when you're actually on the course, sometimes these overhead views can look deceiving. And I just feel the black line is a much safer, much more comfortable approach. You'll bring your extra mile with a Titan at least, if yes, in rookie a Titan. And you know what? I shouldn't say at least, because if we end up with any type of headwind, it's not going to be much. So 1 to 3 topspin, I feel it would be good, and obviously that number is going to depend. If we have wind at our back, go with 1. If we have wind in our face, go with 3. So that depends on wind direction. Remember the 10%. And then also the second shot, I want you to bring the most accurate wood club that you have. So even if you have a level 1 sniper, you still get a 4.0 ball guide and 100 accuracy. And I believe you will still definitely be able to reach. Also, one thing I didn't put on my notes, I wish I would have. I believe you're going to need some little bit of right spin on your drive just to get you a little close. You don't want to be super close to where the rough is, where the second black box is, but it is definitely an albatross possibility. You are going to be shooting for the pin, but it doesn't mean it's going to go in. Don't expect it to go in, but there will be some that drop.
Yeah, and I agree definitely with the last part there. I think it speaks for all the holes in tournament here that there's gonna be opportunities, but not those great. There is like two short par 4s, I would say, especially one short par 4 that we're gonna come to later, of course. But this hole in particular, that's like we start with pro and expert. We're gonna play left side. And I'll play left side with any type of wind. Reason being is that I do feel that playing on the right side, even though with a good wind, and even if we get up to where the second white marker is there, it's gonna be still a very tough shot because we do have most likely a bunker in play there and can't really play straight at the pin, especially if we go a little bit short. So play left side, 10% extra. And we're gonna go with 2 bars topspin in crosswind. We're gonna play with 1 bar in tailwind, and then we're gonna play with a little bit more than 2 in headwind. We can also play like with 3-4 bars in headwind and back up a little bit, especially if we do have a very strong headwind there. Second shot, play with the sniper, and I also want you to play with a power 3 ball. I know you could play this one with a lower power ball, but then if you go short with your drive, you're gonna have a problem with having less power on your ball. When it comes to the approach, use side spin to the right. Kind of put yourself away from the rough on the right side, so you bounce more at the center of the fairway, or more a little bit to the left side of it, so you stay away from the obstacles and so forth. And also with the drive, and I need to mention as well, with the side spin, max right side spin with any type of wind. It's because it slopes slightly down there to the left, so we need to make the ball to follow the curve or whatever we can feel. There is a slight curve there coming into the second fairway island there, so we need to follow that one there. Master, if we do not have a tailwind-ish, or maybe I would say a crosswind here, then we would have to play on the white line. Like a headwind, for an example. Headwind, we will not be able to reach on the left side. That's gonna be such a... we're gonna drop into the water or into the sand or something like that. Then we're gonna have to play on the right side. And I honestly don't know how that's gonna go, because I don't feel that we're gonna be able to reach over the sand with headwind either. So it's gonna be super interesting to see what we can play, what we're gonna get in Master for this one here. 10% downhill first shot, 10% downhill for the second shot. So we do need to add that. And just to make sure, RJ, when the dog is going wild, I'm muting your mic, so you're not gonna have to worry about that.
I wish I could get a door.
No, that's no worries. So
run up and see what I can do about that.
Yeah, no worries. So, okay, that was hole number 1, everyone. Like power 3 balls in general, I would say. Like maybe a power 4, power 5 ball, depending on the wind. So, okay. We're gonna see. Then we do have, hey Tommy, how are the elevation in these holes? Minus 10, or like 10% extra for the drive, 10% extra for the second shot as well. Careful with the topspin following the black line. Yes, Brett, absolutely. You're absolutely right. Just like a little bit. No, I don't see there isn't that many. You know, we have played this whole a couple of times here, so I appreciate everyone mentioning the fact that we are not gonna use too much topspin for the drive. That's gonna be Extra Mile 7 Power 3 ball. What do we say about that, RJ? I'd say yes on that, right?
Extra Mile, I don't think it's for hole 1. I don't think that it's 100% necessary to use the Power 3, but if you are going for gold in a rookie division with an Extra Mile 7, I would go with a Kingmaker because you might as well take advantage of the 3 wind and the extra. Oh my God.
Yeah, and I would have to say like that. Sorry for cutting you off there, buddy.
Everyone is messing with me.
It's a stream, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah. This doesn't happen when we record. The dog. But yeah, exactly.
We can say like this. There is a difference if you play from front tee or from second tee. Second tee, I would say Power 3 ball minimum every single time. But front tee, as I already said, definitely can. What can I say? Play different, or not different, but change to a different ball. Do we like the new ball, the Zenith bar? I can start with saying yes, I do. I think the design is absolutely lovely, and when it comes to a par 3 ball, it's a really good ball, you know. So I have paid for those balls. I don't know what you say about that, RJ.
I absolutely love them. If I remember correctly, I only took a glimpse. Isn't it Wind 5 side spin 3 ball?
Correct, yes.
Zero power.
Yes.
I absolutely love those balls. And if you're on a budget like myself, I highly recommend for your Power 5 balls just to do the golden shots. You know, drop $5 on a golden shot. And then when these Wind 5 balls come out, especially with 3 side spin, oh my God, eat them up.
Yeah, quarterback 9 doable. I would say yes, honestly. I can actually go back to the picture here. It's not for the drive that it's necessary to have a Power 3 ball. It's more for the second shot. So I would say the quarterback will be, if we do have headwind, no. And I would say front tee quarterback, absolutely possible. Second tee, kind of a 50-50 depending on the wind. So have that in mind. But if we can play with the quarterback, we definitely should be playing with the quarterback. It's much more accurate, and it kind of gives us room for hitting great.
Yeah, and I just want to say, you know, if you have a quarterback 9 or if you have an Extra Mile 7, unless you're just playing for the badges, you get such better prizes in pro, and your clubs, you're ready. If you're watching this video, you're watching us stream, you're ready. Now you do you, boo. when it comes to that, you do what you're comfortable with. We all have our limitations, but I got to tell you, getting a Tour 3 chest versus getting a Tour 6 chest is night and day. You'll get your snipers, you'll get your lot of things.
Yeah. In expert Thorsheimer 4 with a Power 3 ball, yes, KB, absolutely. I don't see that as any problems at all. What do we have? A lot of questions. Love that, guys. Keep pumping in questions. You know, we're gonna go to hole 2 in a little bit. We can't stay on one hole all the time, but just keep them coming. Can I use Turkey Ball a expert level if headwind Tom in this hole? Yeah, but as there is also that Yo says in chat that the side spin could be a problem. I'm not saying it will be, but it could be. So I would rather go and play with a ball that gives you a little bit more side spin. But if you do have like 10 packs of turkey balls, or maybe have like 1 pack of Titan and 1 pack of Kingmakers and a little bit of Katanas, yeah, then I would maybe pick the turkey ball. But I don't see an advantage for you playing with a turkey ball on this specific hole. So yes, okay, now I think it's time. Hole number 2, par 3. I can honestly say that I hate this hole. I hate this hole so much that it's just insane. I don't like it. So let's go.
It's very inconsistent. And because of its inconsistencies, I like the black line. In the past, and even in trying to make videos and such, I tried jumping on the pad and getting it somewhere near the hole. I've never gotten a hole in one. And even if I did, I know it would be pure luck. So I really like that rough bump there. But again, all my rough bumps have been from the second tee in Tour 7, which doesn't really have that high of a wind. But because we're from the first tee, I'm assuming that you could use a quarterback or a rocket as opposed to the extra mile, giving you a much tighter target and a much higher possibility of hitting the rough and rolling out, as opposed to an extra mile, which is kind of a sloppy club, especially at the lower levels. It is a 10% adjustment. And I've also found, now Tommy, again, correct, I know things are a little different from the second tee to the first tee. Usually when you do a rough bump, you want to put 1 or 2 topspin on. This has not been the case for me. I have had the best luck, unless there's like a strong headwind. I've had the best luck actually with about 2 bars of backspin. I've been able to get pretty close to the hole, but it's impossible to aim for the hole with the rough bump. Sure, you could put some, right curl on it, or I believe it's right curl, and some spin on it as well. But when it comes down to it, this is a birdie hole, in my opinion.
I agree with the birdie hole, and I would have to say that the rough bump is a way that I'm gonna try as much as possible to stay away from. Reason being for the fringe glitch, as we call it in community terms. And the fringe glitch means that sometimes when you hit a specific spot on the fringe, the ball takes off like it's gonna go to third tee or something like that. It's so I don't like that. But I can also say, RJ, for just to mention with Rookie, I played this hole a couple of times and also watched a couple of videos before making the hole guide. If you do play with a power 3 ball, you're gonna have a rough bump with a wood club. And you're gonna have, if you play with a less than a power 2 ball, you're gonna have a rough bump with a driver. But then if you do have a tailwind with like a low level ball or something like that, you still might gonna be in between clubs. So I think people just be cautious about that when going in. Take a look at the wind. Take a look where you are with your target before you take your shot. And
I'm gonna take care of the dog.
Yeah, okay, yes, no worries. So I can just go with, when it comes to a pro and expert, we're gonna play according to the white line, in my opinion, all the time. I know the rough bump is there, and there will be people trying that one from different angles. We might gonna find a sweet spot, but as starting point, we're gonna have to start playing on the fairway island, even though there is a inconsistency with that as well. Thor's hammer is good, but I would more go with as like a quarterback level 9, 10, or a rocket. If you have a less than quarterback level 9, you're gonna have less backspin to play with. Therefore, we do need to play with the rocket. I would also suggest here that if you can, play with a less power ball. It doesn't have to be like a Titan or a Kingmaker here. So play with a less power ball, reduce the distance so we're not keeping ourselves in between clubs. But I don't think it's going to be a problem with that when it comes to playing with a rocket or with a quarterback. So quarterback katana, quarterback like navigator could be good as well. It's the same type of wind resistance with both those balls. But if you have quarterback in a lower level than 9, you play with the rocket, because you're not going to have... you're not gonna. You use a couple of bars, side spin to the left as well, trying to find a spot. I usually aim for the lower left part of that fairway island because that's flat. But there is definitely an inconsistency there as well. Master, we play with an Apocalypse or we play with a Thor's hammer. So Thor's hammer is preferred, as we're gonna go for the first fairway pad there according to white line. Could be with a very strong head when we need to back up and play according to the second of the fairway pads as well. We're gonna see what type of wind we're gonna have. In Master, I would say the rough bump is gonna be possible in tailwind, but that one is not something that I will go for. I might gonna have to eat up these words further in the tournament. I don't know. 10% downhill. So we're gonna have to add that as well. I saw a question about hole 1, just quick, regarding master, if we can slice or hook that shot. You know, there's so much water, Jeremy, that I wouldn't prefer doing that, which sometimes it's gonna go for, you know, but the wind angle is slightly changing from the time to time, so it's very hard to replicate a hook shot or a slice shot, especially with those very small pads that we're having there. Okay, see if we do have some questions here. I see a lot of hate for this hole. That's awesome.
You know, and I would say for the people that have the hate, not to go against what you're saying, but for the people that have the hate, you probably have the hate taking the white line. I haven't had the fringe glitch. Now watch, in the tournament, on every shot I take, I'm going to have the fringe glitch. But, you know, playing in expert type levels or whatever, I have definitely had very good success. It's a pretty big, rough area there. And I have seen my opponents taking the white line in shootouts and ending up in the rough on the right, or, you know, just totally screwing the shot up, because it almost feels like it should be more than 10%. The ball just never goes where you expect it to go. I don't know if the ball guide somehow gets compressed or stretched out or something, but Tommy is a far better player than I will ever be. So if he's nervous of the black line, I would definitely take his recommendation over my own. But through my experience, when I try the white line, it's a much longer putt, at least, than when I go with a rough bump.
And that's why I love this, you know. We're two people, we play the holes in different way. The only important part is how do we, what's the end result? If we get the same type of end result, doesn't really matter how we play. I'm not gonna be like, not me or RJ is that content creator that's gonna tell you play this way or you are not gonna be friend with me anymore. It's like, you play the way that you feel comfortable with playing. These are suggestions that we know, or as RJ said, we have experience with them. We have played it that way and have wrestled from it, but we can never guarantee on hole in one. We can never guarantee, you know, that you're gonna make a good shot. But to just answer your kind of a question there, RJ, that it seems that it's sometimes gonna have to add more. The biggest problem here is we are going from a higher point to a lower point. Like, if we do have a tailwind aiming for the pad, we're gonna most likely drop down into the water, which means that we're gonna lose distance because we go from a higher point to a lower point. So then it makes sense that it looks like that we're gonna have to play 20% instead of 10, because the lower point kind of takes away a couple of yards for us there. That's the same if we aim outside the fairway pad going down, we're gonna lose a little bit of distance. So something to think about definitely on this one as well. Lee Sherman says, Tommy, I max tour 11 every day. I usually finish top 10 in expert. I'll only have a POC 5 Thor 5. Is that a bad turn to move up to master? I'm thinking of waiting until I get level 6 Apocalypse. I don't know what win we're gonna have, but there's definitely a disadvantage having less than an Apocalypse 6. But there is definitely players that has been playing top 10, top 3s, even winning master with an Apocalypse 5. But it's like, it would be stupid of me not saying that it would be a disadvantage for you not having a better club than a POC 5. Especially if you're gonna consistently play well in master, in my opinion. Okay. Question here as well. Tommy, hole 2 landing position seems to glitch left, right because of the ridge on fairway. Do you feel straight backspin is best, or go right on fairway with left side spin? I will leave that up to you, buddy. You know, I'm gonna try some different setups up when the tournament starts, because for me the setup is so wind dependent. So I think I'm gonna leave that question for later. Ask me. Or I know you're gonna get the updated text guides as well, so ask me then instead. I think we're gonna come to a solution there that we're gonna like. RJ, in case of headwind, do maxed or almost maxed horizon work on hole 2?
You know I really appreciate that you asked me that question, but I would like to defer that to Tommy, because once again, every time I've even tried with a sniper to get it to bounce on a pad, I've always ended up in a worse position than I did on the rough bump. And I know the horizon Oh man, it's just going to be so squirrely because it's not very accurate, and I don't think you're going to need all that top spin. But Tommy, you might have a better take on that one.
And I say no. It's you choose a different club. You don't need to mixture with the horizon here. Definitely not. Sorry for being so quick with that answer, but I was so prepared. RJ's, have you had any success for a hole in one on a rough bump?
On this particular hole, no, but I feel like anytime there's a rough bump and the hole is actually in front of you without putting any curl or side spin on it, I feel like your chances for chipping that in is much higher than just relying on your normal abilities, because obviously you're not going to rough bump with a wedge or a short iron or anything. But on this particular hole, no, I'm just trying to help you get a nice, easy putt. And if it goes, so Tommy's shot, where you're going to take the white line, if you can dial that in, that's definitely a better hole in one opportunity. I'm just trying to keep you for an easy second shot birdie.
And I would say before we go to hole number 3, don't forget to subscribe. Like 48 people away from 39k, insane! And that also means that go over to RJTV. You find down below his camera, you can see that it's RJTV. That's his name on YouTube. Join in. Hit subscribe there as well, and also the other content creators jump in, hit subscribe there as well. More the merrier. Also, for those of you that like the text guide format, there will be updated text guides out. I'm gonna show you a sneak peek of like an old tournament in the end, but updated text guides are only for Patreons. You can find that on patreon.com/golf/tommy, link in the video description down below. So, okay, so we're gonna go hole number 3. Now I do have like a picture of when it was in the ghostly glade. Okay, before I drop the ball over to you, I love this walkthrough of the guide. Jeremy, thank you so much for another $2, not box, but $2. Give Jeremy some boom and some love in the chat. The boom came exactly on your head, RJ. I'm gonna move that a little bit. Okay, yes. What do we do here, RJ, for hole number 3 from front tee?
All right. Well, once again, I like the black line very much. With a quarterback, you could go with a rocket. I know we're talking rookies, so, you may have your rocket upgraded enough. But I like bouncing over instead of jumping over. It just feels more like a conservative shot, and you don't need the extra distance for your second shot. So it is 10%, so make sure you make that adjustment. There's no reason for you to get super close to the rough because you'll end up hitting the rough and bouncing into the water. I would go about 50% right curl, and then I would also go with 2 or more, 50% right curl on your drive with some top spin. Be careful of that sand for sure. I would definitely go full right spin there. But then for your second shot, what do I have here? I am looking at the wrong notes. I'm sorry. It's quarterback or extra mile. God, you gotta love live TV, right? Quarterback or extra mile, 3 top spin, full right spin. You can use a marlin here. 50% right curl is correct. Your second shot, though, is going to be also 10%. Use the most accurate wood club you have for the second shot. For those people seeking the albatross, I would go with a katana just because you're not 100% sure where your ball's going to stop, and it would be nice to curl around that rough.
Yes, we came there in the we got there in the end. That's right, but that's good. Yes, from pro and expert team, we're gonna play with a quarterback as well. If we're not having headwind, if we do have headwind, we're gonna play with a driver that gives us more distance. But if we can play with a quarterback, there is not a need of playing with more like a power 3 ball here. We can play with a Craystar or katana, because here I value side spin a lot. We do want as much side spin as possible, minimum side spin 2, to stay away from the sand that we do have there. You see slightly north, or like slightly north of the first white marker. And we're gonna bounce over, have a sniper through the pin. It's gonna be interesting to see if we're gonna get some tailwind here, because if we do get tailwind, especially in expert, then we're gonna bounce directly according to the white line and try to go for green in one. The problem there though is like if we drop that one too much to the right, we're gonna go into the water. So it's gonna be a risky shot there for the white line. So the white line is only for tailwind. Combined with that, let's say we have a lower amount of tailwind, or more like a tailwind and crosswind, then we could, with a driver that gives us 4 bars of backspin or more, go directly over to that fairway. Then we can skip the bounce that we are doing according to the black line and go directly over to that fairway pad there. The reason there is so many alternatives here is like this one was on Tour 11 before. I played this one feels like a million times. That is just yeah, it's a pretty easy hole. Just put yourself on fairway, play the second shot on green. Master, if we do have headwind, we cannot play on the right side if it's a strong headwind, then we need to play on the left. But I also remember that even with a very strong, we could reach over if we do have the topspin for it. But there, if headwind on this one, it's definitely going to be a disadvantage for those people playing with an Apocalypse level 5 below, or a Thor's Hammer. You don't play Thor's Hammer here, but Apocalypse 5 or below. Yes, 10% downhill for the drive. I say 0 for the second shot. And you can play with 5% extra. I know I said that in the whole guides. So I kind of mixed her a little bit. There isn't that big of a difference between a 5 or a 0. So, 0 is good. But, 5 is good as well. Very weirdly, say I should maybe just decide one way. But I can say that I've been having that big of luck dropping a bunch of albatrosses here. There is a possibility, absolutely, but definitely not that we can count with. Okay, let's look, see if we have any questions. Easy hold from Ben Wilson. Yes, I think we both can agree on that, RJ, right? It's not going to be a problem.
Definitely an albatross opportunity, and anytime you can say that, that should be an easy eagle.
And we do have I don't understand the white line, Tommy. I think that was before I started to talk about it. I hope it makes more sense. Otherwise, use the question again. Fun and games. Hey, buddy, first and foremost. RJ and Tommy, what is the Steady Eddie score? I say minus 26.
Minus 26. I would say minus 24. But that's just kind of the experience gap between the two of us.
I would say, like, we do have one hole where it's going to be a must eagle, which is going to make par minus 13. So I would say, like, if we're talking about master and expert especially, but I will count in pro and rookie there as well. I would say if you're going to win, you need to get like somewhere between 28 and 30 to win. That's where I see the score is going to be in the end. I hope I'm going to be wrong. I hope minus 26 is going to be enough, James. And that would honestly be good. It also, of course, depends on the wind. But yeah.
We may also have different, we may also have different opinions of what a Steady Eddie is going from that standpoint. I look at Steady Eddie as nothing dropping, everything expected.
Okay. Yeah, then I say 26 as well as James. Sorry, okay, I didn't know that you Americans are weird.
We are. Come on, have you watched my channel?
I have.
Very weird.
Once again, what did you say? You said blue was green, or it was something like around in that ballpark. And that's Tommy, have you tried Hammerhead Club on hole 3? Can it work? I don't play with a Hammerhead myself, but definitely a club to play. You can play with whatever wood club here. The reason I say sniper is because it's the best ball guideline we have on a club, even in a more lower level. What holes are going to be a must eagle? We're gonna mention that later, Bobby. There is a must eagle, and I think it's hole 6 if I'm not mistaken, but we're gonna come to that soon here. Can we drive second fairway with tailwind? Yes. Uh, it needs to be, you know, a strong and a power 5 ball is kind of something, yeah. Are you going to post this tutorial online? Yes, both me and RJ gonna post this on the channel. It's gonna be uploaded afterwards on my channel, and then RJ kind of gets it home. Not home as to his house, but you know what I mean. And yeah. So
Oh, it comes to my house.
yeah, okay. So hole number 4, RJ. Yeah.
Okay.
Can we miss the birdie here? Honestly,
Yeah, this is deceivingly hard. You guys got to put your spacesuits on before taking this shot now. Seriously, this is a point and shoot hole. Every time I've specifically played it myself, it's a backbone hole, in my opinion, and it's basically put the backspin on. You know, if you can't reach in rookie with backspin because you got some sort of weird headwind, you might want to go with a Goliath. But this is a very, like, there's no special side spin or play it to the left or play it to the right and aim 1 square over, 2 squares back. You do the hokey pokey. This is just a straightforward shot. It's always hard to get a hole in one. You can't call hole in ones, but yeah, there's nothing special to this hole, in my opinion. So backbone, Marlin should be fine. If you want to win the tournament, use a wind 5 ball instead. But that's all I got for this. Not much to talk about.
No, and I say the same. This is yeah. It's since they changed it, going from a more flat green, or like more, but from a flat green to be a very bumpy. It's not gonna be like a. Otherwise, it would have been a must hole in one on this one, because when it was flat, it was pretty straightforward, easy one. Here it's a little bit bumpy. Playing for Pro and Expert, we're gonna play with the Guardian if we're not having a sniper maxed out, and that also depends on the wind. Like, we do want backspin on this one. If we do have a crosswind, or let's say like this, we're gonna have a crosswind or headwind, we can play with the sniper. Tailwind, I would love for us to go with the Guardian. The reason being is that I do want us to bounce on the green, not before the green, to get a more consistent way up towards the pin. But as the sniper doesn't have that much backspin for tailwind, it's gonna be a hard time to get it stopped. Sure, you know, you can also use the wind resistant ball and stuff, but that's a general thought about that hole. That's kind of what I'm thinking with the club selections. Master, we're gonna play with like either a driver in headwind, then like it's a rocket or the quarterback, or we're gonna play with the Guardian here as well in tailwind. I remember this one in tailwind, play with the Guardian. Got actually very close on this one. I know there's a rough bump there in between the bunkers, but not something that I think is gonna be worth trying, especially not since they changed the green. I think that's gonna be but it's definitely gonna drop some hole in ones in this one. That I can assure you. So in the end, I see this one as we're gonna be close, but we're gonna have a little bit of luck with the bounces there to get it in the hole. Okay, okay, see if we do have any. Is hole 4 a must hole in one? I kind of answered that, but I want to hear your opinion, RJ, on that one.
No, I don't ever think I don't think there's a single hole in the entire game that is a must hole in one. Sure, some people are going to hit it, and sure, some people are going to be lucky and hit it on the front 9 and the back 9, but that's just putting way too much pressure on you. The measurements have to be so precise. I just, you know, when I feel like, and you know, you have your own opinion. First of all, don't forget the 10% downhill for those of us. Always go for the hole in one on holes like this. There's no risk. It's not like you should lay up and go for an easy putt. Otherwise, you could end up in the water or the sand. No, the flag is pretty much in the middle. And there's not much to this hole. I completely agree with Tommy. I wish I would have said that during my part about I do like to land on the putting surface for a more consistent way to go. But saying that it's a must, that's just putting too much pressure on you. It'll come, you know, when you get it dialed in. And if it doesn't, you'll make it up on another hole.
Yes, and I would say there's a question in tournament, are you streaming first thing, your qualifying rounds? Yes, directly when the tournament starts. I've done that for the last 10, 12 tournaments, I believe. I'm gonna continue with that. As for those that may know, I'm gonna go full time as a content creator, and working with the channel, working with content, helping people in the community from 1st of June. So it's definitely gonna be every single time there is a tournament, I'm gonna be online that morning. You can count on that. If I'm not sick, then you can count on me being online at that time. All the divisions. Do we have? No, there is a question about James. What are your thoughts on the Guardian? He says, "I love the sniper." That's kind of I don't know. But yeah, we are not gonna talk about that. We're gonna go to hole number 5. Yeah, I'm just not gonna say anything. I'm gonna wait for my turn. Sorry, Jay. Albatross, maybe. No?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's possible. I got my highlighter to make sure I don't read the following notes like I did last time. I actually don't even feel like I need notes on this one. This is a very straightforward one. I did have it switched, though, however, to a quarterback or a rocket just to get a little more accuracy. The mistake I see most people make is trying to get their drive either as far up on the fairway as possible without going into the rough, or putting too much topspin and curl and side spin on and ending up on the rough to the left. It ain't that deep on the golf course, guys. All we need is, like I said, a rocket or a quarterback, and you definitely do not want full topspin. Make sure that you're kind of backed up a little bit, like right where that box is. You don't need to play it right by the rough. You want this ball to play a little bit short, because you'll notice, it looks like Tommy kind of expected this when he made this guide, because you'll see it looks like that second shot has curl on it. And that's the problem. If you push it all the way up, those trees are going to cause you to have to curl around them, which takes away an easier chance at an albatross. Don't expect an albatross, but an easier chance at an albatross. Now, one thing I will say is I feel that you have in rookie, the best opportunity, unfortunately, that you're going to have is with a big dog. I think your second shot absolutely has to be a big dog, but it is definitely possible. And depending on what your landing position is, if you're landing like one bounce in front of the green, you might want to throw some backspin on, depending on the power ball you decide to use here or whatnot. But yeah, just avoid those trees so you don't have to put curl on, and avoid the rough so you don't have to depend on, a wedge chip. And also make sure you have enough room to make it to the flag, because that is a very long putt if you're right next to the fringe by the black box.
KB Chef, thank you, Tommy and RJ. You guys are great. Thank you so much for the $7, bro. Give KB Chef some boom and some love in the chat. Appreciate, buddy. And Jetty G-Man, thank you so much as well for the $5. Give G-Man, I say G-Man because I don't know if I'm gonna pronounce that the first one, but thank you so much for the $5 as well. Get some booms and some love in the chat there. I'm sorry for the delay there with that, but we're gonna go. Okay, so hole number 5, Pro and Expert. We're gonna do like it's exactly the same game plan as it's in Rookie, as it will be in Pro and Expert, as it will be in Master. We bounce over, try to get as much to the left possible, without going past like half of the fairway to the top or whatever I can say. We don't want to have the trees in a way. We just don't want to have the trees in a way. For the second shot, I do want us to play with a club that gives us distance. I know we can be in sniper range, we can be in guardian range or something like that, but it's better to safe it here with a big dog or the Cataclysm, because frankly I don't see us dropping an albatross here that often. It's gonna be luck, a lot of luck if we're gonna do that, and I'm sorry for those of you that feel that you have that one dialed in, but I know you can't have that when you're gonna play so far away and you're gonna depend on so much roll, and you don't know, sometimes gonna go short, sometimes gonna go long, and as RJ say as well, do not go short on green. Even though RJ now said it's a long putt, but I can say to 100% that if you just go onto the green by the fringe there, you're not going to reach with your putter. That's not going to
No,
be
right.
possible.
I should have elaborated. That's what I meant.
Yeah.
It's not a makeable putt.
Yeah, and I would say drive 10% downhill, second shot nothing. I'm not adding anything there whatsoever. I want us to play with a power 3 ball due to the distance for the second shot. Not that much for the drive, but for the second shot. And with some serious headwind in Master especially, like a power 4 ball, power 5 ball could be there. If tailwind though, that line isn't out there, but in tailwind, this is definitely room for us to have a power hook to go with. And I'm now talking expert and master. Because we do have higher wind, we often have more distance with our clubs and more curl to use. Because we do need like the apocalypse here for the power hook to get the correct angle, I would say. Most likely gonna end up into the rough pretty high up. But you know, then it all of a sudden makes it as an opportunity. Even though we're gonna make, but that's kind of like it's gonna be the perfect win. So we're gonna have to see what happens in the tournament first, and then we're gonna go from there. But there's definitely a power hook with a good tailwind on this one here. So then we're gonna, oh there, Tony says, Tommy RJ, power slide for this hole for drive. But yeah, hook, but yeah, I know what you mean, yes. Berserker and Sniper possible here, yes it is, but I would never play with a Berserker if I'm not gonna use it with my drive to drive far. That's just my feeling with it. Otherwise I feel that you would be better off to playing, if so, with a power 3 ball, reduce the wind instead. But you know, I get the point, reaching, playing with the Sniper. Yeah, absolutely possible, at least.
And can I add something real quick?
Absolutely.
Just to that last question you had. Another thing is we never know ahead of time what type of winds we're going to get. It's very possible that you'll see one or both of us, playing our expert accounts or higher with a sniper if we have the proper winds. But you got to have the wins first. That's why we'll recommend a big dog, because maybe 3 out of the 4 wins a sniper just won't reach. But there could be that one wind that we get where, a sniper might be the right one. So, just in saying with, the power 5 ball, I'm saying this with a Kingmaker, with a power 3 ball. I've done this with a sniper, but I've also had a long chip with a sniper. So that's why I completely understand why big dog is our initial assessment. Do you agree with that, Tommy?
Yeah, definitely. It's like, if you're gonna play with a ball that gives you less wind resistance than the normal ball that you're playing, sure, if you normally play with a basic ball, it's gonna be better. But yeah, I do think that you know what I mean. But then a wedge, like if we do go short by the green, it's a long wedge. It's not gonna be a short one where you can just aim in the hole. Then we'll really need to adjust for the wind. So a berserker ball there could be. So really make sure that you get that freaking ball on the green.
Right.
So
the conditions need to be perfect.
Yeah.
That's why I love watching the 3 o'clock stream that you have, because I get to see the, when I wake up, obviously, but I get to see the wins and be like, oh, okay, yeah, a sniper can work here or a quarterback could work there. That's where you really dial in.
Yeah, and you can see little me, making the mistakes that I don't want you guys to do. So I'm definitely gonna, I'm serious with that, if there is a tailwind, I'm gonna go for it, because it's better, I see it's better for me to miss than it's better for you guys that are watching to miss, at least then we're gonna learn something, if I try a power slice or a power hook and I feel that, no, this is not gonna go, yeah, then I feel obligated to say that at least, because I don't want people watching my videos feeling that they can play a hole that they, yeah, in a way that they can't. So
can I reverse things and ask the chat something?
Sure.
Is it just me, or does the hair on the back of your neck stick up a little bit whenever you hear someone like Tommy tell you that there's a possibility of a power hook or a power slice? Man, I'm just sitting here, and I know if I had a heart monitor on me, my pulse just went from like 70 to 90, like, ooh, power slice. So I don't know. I was wondering if everyone else in the chat feels the same way. You just get those little tingly spots like, ooh, possibility. I love it.
We're gonna see what people are answering in that. I'm gonna have a hard time staying away from reading the answers. And we're gonna go to hole number 6, RJ. And hole number 6, and I say it's a must eagle. Doesn't matter what wind we're gonna have. In my opinion, this is a must eagle. So I'm interested to hear, do we go aggressive or do we play conservative here? What do we do here from front tee?
You know, I've got this hole quite a few times in my grindings, and either I just forgot how to play the white line or something changed. I'm not sure what it was, but I could not get my ball over the sand bunker there. I also tried an approach where I went with full topspin through the trees. That was a miserable failure. So I like just going with extra mile or even a big topper, and trying to get that as high up to where that black box is. You know, depending on the wind, you might have to use full overpower, or depending on the wind, if you got wind at your back, you might have to dial it back just a little bit. You know, with a power 5 ball, I don't think that would be 100% necessary. But if we can get the trees out of the way, then this is definitely one where I say, if you have it, bring the thorn. No, I'm sorry, the hornet. Yeah, the more accurate one, the hornet. If you don't have the hornet, use your most accurate short iron to get the eagle.
Yeah, and I'm gonna build on the statement I made, that clear statement of a must eagle. And last time we played this hole, every division got tailwind, so every division had a possibility to reach. But you do need backspin to reach here. Like, if we do have a crosswind, I would say crosswind is kind of the, like, both. I would say it's the best way to play this hole. I know tailwind would be for some. I'm gonna get to the point why I'm thinking crosswind is the best. Is because then we can rely on the ball guideline. We do not have to feel that we're gonna have an extended ball guideline or a compressed ball guideline when we play. And that's the tricky part with this one. In headwind, the second bounce is gonna be shorter than expected, than what the ball guideline looks like. And then with tailwind, the second bounce is gonna be longer than expected according to the ball guideline. And that is the key here. When we had tailwind the last time, a lot of players, including myself in the beginning, went way far. We went into the bunker at the back of the green because we just bounced over. We still used like 3-4 bars backspin, but the tailwind did kick in such a massive way that we have a problem there. So in tailwind, from pro and expert tee, I'm talking about there, we do want to play with 4 to 6 bars of backspin, depending on like if it's a crosswind tailwind or a straight tailwind. Use as much side spin to the right possible with half a ball of curl outside the outer part of the ring to the right. Because if we do go long, we rather want to go long to the right and miss the bunker and have a wedge, or like a short wedge, or a little bit of a longer putt. Might sometimes gonna be a slight overpowered putt, but I feel that's one we're gonna drop from time to time there as well. If we do have a headwind here, then we have 2 options. Even though it's only one black line, we have 2 options. We can play with a driver that we have. If we do have a driver with distance and a decent amount of topspin, and just go full blast, all in kind of mentality through the trees. We risk, like, what can we win and what can we lose on that one? We can win that we go into the rough. We have an open shot, very short rough iron, and if you're good with your rough iron, then that could be a very good way to get an eagle from there. 2, we can actually roll out to the fairway just by the green and have a very short wedge, then the eagle is going to be home. The bad part with it there's a bunch of trees. And I'm one of them, and I think there is, I know there is a lot of players that has been unlucky hitting a wrench and just go and have a tree in your way instead. And then all of a sudden the birdie is going to be a problem. So, but that's a way to go. For those of the players that do not want to take a risk whatsoever, then you play straight forward to the right and just have a hornet shot or a thorn shot or whatever short iron you have. But I would say, once again, if we do have wind and you're gonna win, or let's say like this, you're gonna increase the opportunity getting an eagle here, you're gonna have to follow the white line. And that I'm speaking mostly for pro, expert, and master players, but also for people playing in rookie. And but sure, if you just want to take the birdie, don't risk anything, you only focus on going to the weekend round, then you're gonna survive with a birdie here as well. But this is going to be a must eagle, and we're gonna play with power 3, power 4, power 5, or whatever the wind is gonna tell us to do. And we'll play 10% downhill for our drive. I love this hole. I really do. I think it's a good way. We can go aggressively, but really need to think about the technical aspect of the compressed and extended ball guideline, which will mess up for a lot of people. So, yes, Golf Clash Asud, I can take your question now. I actually remember it. I say Cataclysm 6 there, but to just make sure that you do have the distance for the second shot. Okay. Are we gonna see? I'm just scrolling here. There is a lot of suggestions of ways to play, which is awesome. And Neo had good luck here with rock. Then he must have played with like a berserker or a globe. I remember I played with a kingmaker, just put it in max distance and bounced over. You know, there is a lot of ways to play this hole. And that's, now I need to take this. Oh, holy. Troy Laughlam, thank you so much for the $2, bro. Give Troy some boom. And I love it in chat. Thank you so much. And also, Jeremy, hole 6 cost me expert golden gridiron tournament on 2 accounts. Only ban hole 6. But honestly, it's a fun channel. Thank you so much for the $5, bro. Appreciate it. I'm sorry to hear you're gonna get it this time. Ingrid Howell coming in as well with $5. Thank you so much, my friend, for the $5. Give Ingrid some boom and some love in chat. Ingrid is, by the way, has a very common Swedish name. Russell Stevenson, Tommy and RJ, appreciate the walkthrough guides with the $10. Russell, thank you so much, buddy. Much appreciated as well. Give Russell some boom and some love in the chat. Oh my god, everyone is pure, yeah, coming in with, oh my god, thank you so much, everyone. Appreciate it. Guess not getting question answered on hole 5. You know, I don't want to be, I'm not even gonna, I answered your question before, so have a little bit of a patience, please. You know, it's not that we have 250 people in here, we try to answer every single questions. If you don't, you know, sometimes you're not gonna get an answer. So please have respect with that when you are asking a question. Hole 6 are, sorry, no, not hole 7. This is, yeah, a must hole in one according to you. You said that before, right?
I might have said that like 3 tournaments ago because the rough bump was viable. Unless, although I still see you have the rough bump there, so I'm wondering if they maybe, what do they do? Take the steepness off, or maybe they put like a slope behind the hole. But every time I try the rough bump now, it goes very far in a shootout, and I ended up losing. So I only got to practice this hole on Tour 7, and what I got to do and what I found out that works awesomely is taking the white line, full backspin, full left spin with, you know, I would guess a quasar or something like that, and a sniper, and full left curl. Always put me within about a yard or so, but I'm stealing Tommy's job by saying that. So I was really like conflicted here. I'm thinking to myself, okay, so I don't have an actual club for you guys because I'm not 100% sure if it's going to be a long iron or if it's going to be a wood. However, in either case, depending on, you know, the blah, 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 depending on the wind that we're going to have and where, you know, your boundaries for the club are, I still say I want you to bring a club that has at least 4 or 5 backspin because you're going to need that stopping power. But I also want you to bring a club that has the most curl, as well as at the very minimum quasar, but I would like a katana. because, like I said, I was having amazing luck. It's the first time I've ever been able to do that. And it works like every time. It's like I just had a revelation while playing this hole, because my rough bumps, again, these are shootout holes, and it gets expensive to keep losing the shootout. So right where that white box is, you kind of aim right there where it juts out, the rough juts out at the furthest point, and that works best for me. So if it just so happens to be, let's see here, I don't think the backbone has the greatest curl. I don't think a lot of these lower level clubs are going to have a bunch of curl, wood or not. I know the Viper doesn't have a bunch of curl, so that's why I say bring a side spin 3 ball to help compensate. And the ball guide does not matter. You don't care about the ball guide. It's all about the curl and the stopping power. And I like the white line over the black, which is very rare for me.
Yeah, and I agree with you as well. And I would say I played this hole a couple of times with Rookie. You are going to be in between clubs if you play with a backbone or a Saturn here. If you do have, like, I would say, headwind in some form. I would say a Goliath here from front tee is going to be the long iron to play. If you're not having a Guardian to play.
Is there enough backspin on the lower level Guardians, do you think? Or if that's the case, would you just say rough bump it?
Goliath, there is going to be like a 2-3 bar backspin, and that's going to be okay, I guess. But, otherwise it's going to be rough bump, or bounce before the rough and roll into the rough for the second. But, if we can stay on the right side, it's going to be way easier. So I just wanted to add that, because I got in between clubs with my lower level Saturn, playing with a Quasar on this hole at the aiming point that I wanted to. So I had a problem with that. So then I had to go over to a wood club, and then I didn't have enough backspin with a wood club, because on that account I don't have a Guardian unlocked, and I don't have Sniper more than level 3. So that's kind of like, and the Viper wasn't that good either. But I agree with you with the white line. That's what we're going to do in Pro and Expert. This hole is going to be easier in Pro and Expert and also Master than it's going to be in Rookie. Sniper, only for Pro and Expert. Sniper and Quarterback is going to be the clubs in Master. And we do need the backspin. I have an aiming point where I add spin. And the spin is going to be explained in playthroughs and also in the updated text guides when it's time. And I'm having the second bounce just before the fringe, and that's going to be my starting point. And then I'm using curl depending on the wind as well, all from half a ball of curl to 1.5 ball of curl outside the outer part of the adjustment ring to the left. And it's going to get close. I like this hole as well. I do feel that for those people that are going to watch guides on this one, it's going to have an advantage over others, because it's not often you think about a curl shot is going to be the ultimate shot on this one. Many people are going to go for the rough bump, and that's going to be hard. And the only reason I'm having the rough bump there is because if you for some reason get in there when not having curl, or you're not having enough backspin, and also in Rookie, if you do not have the stats or abilities on the clubs, then you will have to go with the rough bump and try to just get it to roll down. Expect that it's sometimes going to give you a very bad roll on the green if you do that way. That's why I as well like the white line way more than I like the black line. 10% extra if you play with a Sniper in Pro and Expert 1-to-1. You take what the wind is, like if the wind says 8 miles per hour, you play it 8 rings. Then we're gonna see. Guardian James says with a couple of hearts. I have Goliath 5, 47 backs with 65 curl stats, but the accuracy looks iffy with how thin that fairway seems to get on the white line. I don't think you have much choice, William. Like if you have Goliath 5 and playing Rookie, that's 4 bars backspin. I think that's what RJ said. That was what you said.
Yeah, but I don't feel the curl would be there. I don't think even when that club's maxed, it doesn't have much curl. So I can only imagine how little it has. At level 4.
65 in curl. I played it with a Goliath level 3. Had no problem curling it in.
I thought you said Guardian. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, Goliath. Goliath level 5.
Forget what I said. I'm sorry. I was going by Guardian.
Okay, that's I'm gonna see. Do we have any? Tommy, is the trees in play for the curl? No. If you're talking about hole 7, no. No, it's
If
not.
if they are, you fly over them, right? Because yeah, I've never had an issue with it.
No, no, not that. No, I say no.
Yeah,
So yeah, we're just gonna leave it with that. Okay. Hole in number 8. 2 more holes to go, and I would say, except for hole number 6, this is, in my opinion, the second best chance for getting something to drop. And you can see there is a bunch of lines here, and see if we and I like all of them. But yeah, I'm gonna I don't know why RJ made that, kind of. So yes, this, yeah, let's go.
I hate this hole. I absolutely hate this hole. I am always following the black line. I've tried the white line and screwed it up. I've tried the blue line and screwed it up. And I try the black line and screw it up as well. But I seem to make my best mistakes with the black line because I can at least still reach with my rough iron. The way I play it, Tommy, I hope I can. I know I stole your hole on the last one, but if you can elaborate for the rookies, because I have no faith in myself on this hole.
Yeah.
What I got is extra mile, black line, katana. Use around anywhere from 4 to full top spin, depending on whether the wind's blasting in your face or in any other direction. Full left spin, about 25% left curl at most, maybe. I think the trick for me is not to end up in the rough on the left, but to end up on the rough by the black box, and the second black box. And what I mean by that is not having the trees in your. Oh my God, this hole just gave me heartburn. Can you take it from here?
Okay, sorry. Yes, there is a lot of players playing according to the black line, and if you do not feel confident with that, which you are not, RJ, I would say follow a different line instead. Just because that's a way to play. I would say aim more at the center of the fairway, use more curl, because the fairway slopes slightly to the right, and which will take the ball into the rough most of the times. That's where people are missing, or they over curl it to the left. I would play with a quarterback as a driver and rookie. If I do have if the quarterback has at least like 3 or 4 bars topspin. Otherwise, I will have to play with an extra mile. Quarterback gives me more curl. I can curl it more to the left. But I also think that the big topper here, even if in a level 1 big topper, following the white line, bouncing over the rough, they're rolling out, and then we're gonna get past the trees. As a third thing, and I'm saying rookie now, if you don't feel confident, you don't have the big topper, nothing, then you can bounce it over to the fairway pad on the right. Then you have a wood club for the rough bump. So you still don't have the tree in your way. You're basically choosing a different route. You take away the risk of over curl or using too little curl, especially if you have a rough iron with very low distance, which many of the players playing from the front tee in rookie division are doing. Then I would choose the blue line instead. It's a straight shot, 2 to 4 bars topspin, over to the fairway pad. The trees are not gonna be in your way, and then you're gonna have a wood club for a rough bump by the green instead. So different way to get to the same. It's gonna be a little bit tougher to get the rough bump dialed in, but definitely not gonna risk the birdie.
I lied. I thought I tried all 3 of these approaches. I tried the white and the blue line. No, I'm sorry, the blue and the black line. I did not try the white line. That is a very interesting point you just made with a big topper rolling out of the rough. I'm wondering if that might be one of the more consistent ways to actually play this. I'm taking advantage that I'm on this show with you, that I get to think out loud like that, because this hole owns me. I'm always in the rough.
And when it comes to pro and expert, and then we're gonna play what the wind basically tells us to do. If we do have a wind that is a crosswind or a tailwind, we're gonna choose black or white line, depending what you feel comfortable in doing. If you do have a headwind, we play according to the blue line. That's the same in Master. You know, what you feel comfortable with, blue line or any of the other lines, all of them will get you to a rough bump. Don't forget to add the 10% for your drive. And in Master, if you do have headwind, play with a power 4 ball to give yourself more room. I'm simplifying this a little bit because it looks very weird on the green. Very, very weird on the picture because there are so many lines what to take. The reason I've added 3 lines is because all of them works, but it's down to how aggressive we want to be and also what the wind is going to be when we're going to play. I do believe that in some divisions going to play according to the blue line, some division going to play according to the white line. I usually don't play the black line because then I will have to depend on curl. And I hate having a shot being dependent on curl. Because curl is the only thing that we cannot replicate. Right. And that's the problem I do have with curl. I can say half a ball of curl to you, but you don't know if you do 0.4 ball of curl, you don't know if you do 0.6 ball of curl, and that all of those things is gonna change. That's why I'm trying to stay away from using curl, if not gonna like have a reference for it already from the beginning, or like let's say like this, or using max curl is often either none or max in my book. White line gonna give you a rough bump with a short iron. Blue line gonna give you a rough bump with either a long iron or a wood club from Pro and Expert and Master T, due to the distances we do have on the club, depending on the balls, power, etc. And then we do have the black line when we're gonna have a long iron. So second shot 0. I don't add anything for that. I also want to say I see there is a lot of talks about cheating, and you know, everyone is entitled for their own opinion, but please take that discussion elsewhere. You know, you know, there has definitely been people reported and banned for cheating. I wouldn't be sitting here if I would be having like the feel that at least those people that are cheated is getting removed. But I can also agree with some of the things that are written, but I'm not interested to have that in chat. Not in the way when we are basically speculating in things without basically having any facts. So please respect that, okay? I'm not going at anyone in particular. I just saw a couple of messages. I just want to address that real quick when we're talking about that. If you do have 100% proof, because no one has 100% proof, but in the end, if you do have 100% proof, or you feel you have 100% proof, send it in to the judges. You know, those that makes the call, which is Playdemic. Then it's their responsibility for the players in the game to act if there is any suspicious activity, and I have confidence that they do that. How we're gonna see if there is any question. There's a lot of talks about that, so I think they I kind of. Okay, I can't see any questions here. It got kind of lost in that. Yes.
One thing I would just say is it's awesome that you said you don't like taking the black line because you got to rely on curl. And not only do I always, like 99% of the time, take the black line, but I see my opponent does. So I would assume that the chat reflects that also. So if it's possible in your division, definitely try to focus on the blue line or the white line. It may make it a lot more easier to not have to pull out your Nirvanas or your Razors or whatever.
Yeah, I think that's, and I agree there. You know, from Pro and Expert, it's not going to be that much big of a problem if we do get into the rough, because we can still reach. But in Rookie especially, going into the rough, you know, having a Machete level 4, it's not gonna get that far. Yes, so hole number 9, last hole for today. For the tournament also. So yes, let's go.
All right. I got 2 things to say on this. I have the right way to do it, and then I had a mistake that happened to my benefit. But first, we're going to go with what you should do, and that is take your quarterback, put it right where you see that black line. I'm sorry, the black box. You know, push it up to maximum distance, push it as close to the trees as you can. Of course, I'm sorry, to the rough. Of course, you want to grate proof it, and you also want to go full left curl, a few bars of top spin. You definitely don't want to run into, you know, the rough or whatnot. Some left spin and get it right up to that black box there. That'll give you a second shot with the big dog. Oh, and I also wanted to say, I don't have it here, but I believe you want to bring a power. Oh, yeah, Titan. I do have Titan in there. And then that'll give you a second shot where I like the way you drew your line because it looks like there is a little bit of curl on that black line approach. Now, this is one of those must eagle holes. Now, that doesn't mean it's going to be easy to eagle. But what it does mean is don't go for the albatross because the albatross is going to give you a higher percentage, if you don't get the albatross, of either landing in the rough or in the sand. You just want to get on the green for an easy putt. That is the correct way to play this. Now, I don't know exactly what happened, but I was talking to Tommy before the stream, and I was somehow, I overhit my ball. And I ended up in the rough, a little bit to the left, or maybe right on that white line in the rough. Now, granted, I had a Nirvana 6, so maybe I'm speaking more to pros and experts here. But I had a straight shot. The trees weren't in the way. The sand wasn't a factor. I was able to put side spin and back spin on, and I had a really easy, once again, eagle. But I loved that. So if you guys can, you know, you guys are so crafty. I see you guys aiming at bushes on top of mountains and getting the ball to somehow, you know, get near the hole in one. You know, that might be something for you engineers out there to figure out a way to do, because this hole, the second shot, gives lots of people fits.
Yeah, definitely. This is going to be a hole where there's going to be a lot of birdies, and therefore people it's not going to be a way here where you can just say, okay, if you hit two perfect shots, you're going to have a nice and easy putt. Going to be a very, very tough one to make an albatross. Going to be very few. So if you feel that you're in the lead with two shots, in the end you have tiebreaker, you could consider yourself being the champion already, in my opinion, if there is a guy coming up there in the end. When we do play this one, it kind of, again, wind dependent. If we do have a crosswind or a headwind, from pro and expert tee, I would vouch for the black line with a quarterback bouncing around, like curling around, bouncing up to the second spot there. If you do have a higher level club, I'm thinking now when we do have like an APOC 4, 5, 6, maybe 7s in expert, then we could go for, even in crosswind, power 5 ball and go for a hook shot. Trying to get ourselves over to the second fairway, or as worse, being in the rough, having like a rough iron shot with a power 5 ball. Headwind, that's not going to be possible, not going to reach. Tailwind, we're definitely going to go for a hook shot, in my opinion there. A hook shot, trying to get over to the second fairway. If you do not want to play a hook shot, you want to maybe play a more conservative way in tailwind. You can drive over the trees using a club with a lot of backspin. Now I'm thinking not just 3-4 bars backspin, because you're going to have an extended ball guideline with tailwind. Then you maybe have to focus on having like at least 5 or 6 bars you can get the ball to stop. Second shot should be the big dog or the cataclysm in the bag all the time. And power 3, power 4, power 5 ball, depending on what you can spare as ball, and make it as easy as possible. Get it to green and just get it there. Slightly uphill approach as well, 5% only, but slightly uphill approach. Have that in mind when you're gonna play this super tough par 5. So yeah, this one is gonna be super tough here. Why you always recommend quarterback? Yeah, I think if I'm gonna make a question about that in the community, people gonna say that I very rarely suggest a quarterback. I only suggest a quarterback when I feel that we're not gonna need distance with any type of wind. Like for example, you can play with quarterback here in headwind, crosswind, tailwind, doesn't really matter. And therefore I can suggest a quarterback because it has the curl as well. Perfect club to make the drive. the reason why I sometimes don't suggest a quarterback, where others maybe feel, you can play with a quarterback, yeah, but you will not be able to play without overpowering headwind, then I'm not going to suggest the quarterback. Then I'm making a bad job as a content creator, in my opinion, because I need to take into account all winds, not just, oh, we have a tailwind, then I can play with the rocket, and I can still reach. Yeah, it's not that easy. That's why kind of like sometimes I'm using the extra mile in a situation where I could play the quarterback, especially before the tournaments, because we don't know the wind. But in the tournament, trying to replicate the best drive there possible. Do I have more questions here? Jimmy Dean, thank you so much for the kind words. TommyLofberg@gmail.com. That's my email. It's gonna be in the video description as well after the stream. Ooh. Tommy, can I use Big Topper 2 on hole 6 with Kingmaker to go through trees? Yes, you can, Matthew, but once again, you're taking the risk of getting stuck behind a tree, but yes, you can. Shall we put Malibu to replace Spitfire this tournament? What do you think, RJ, about that?
Well, with where I'm at, my Spitfire isn't very leveled up. Let's see. I don't think we're going to, I'm trying to scroll up here. I don't see very many sand spots to land in the sand. So I would rather, it's all near the hole. And because of that, I'd rather have the accuracy of the Malibu than the distance of the Spitfire.
Yeah, and I think it's personal preference there as well, always with those clubs. But there is definitely a point there, like I always say, if you feel that you have a higher risk going into a fairway bunker, then you pick the Spitfire, and then you will just have to take it when you get into a green bunker. But if you feel that you're going to be in more green bunkers than fairway bunkers, you pick the Malibu, and then you're just going to have to struggle if you make an unlucky drive into the sand with your drive. So, and I also here in the end want to say that here I pull up the updated text guide for Rookie, the last tournament. I make one folder for every division. Only gets out for Patreons. For those of you that are looking for detailed instructions on how to play the holes, the updated text guide is the ones for you to get. I do play a couple of accounts on all the divisions. To play with different ways, dial stuff in, get my adjustments, and then I scrap a lot of them when going forward, because in the end I'm not competing in Rookie and Pro, and also I don't have time to play as many accounts in the weekend round. So, but if you do want detailed adjustments for your shots, now I'm not meaning just what club and stuff, but all from the first shot, second shot, ball, landing position for the drive, spin, for every shot, if it's the first shot or any other like shot, curl, adjustment for the drive, like maximum, medium distance, and also with the elevation part. Also with a quick note if there's something specific to think about. And that's something that is only for Patreon. Check it out, patreon.com/golfclashtommy. If it's not something for you, then just skip it, But I wanted to make a shout out for that. Many people are asking for more detailed instructions, and then these guys are the ones to get. Sorry for the little promo there in the end, RJ. I apologize for that.
No, actually, I actually purchased one of those, and I'm just sitting here thinking to myself, what an excellent tool it was to have. As long as you can execute these shots, as long as you could hit perfect, he's already telling you, aim 2 squares to the left of the pin, put 1 1/4 back. I mean, it's so dialed in. It's definitely a great tool to have.
And for those of you that know me, I'm a nerd. I have a tendency to kind of find specific spots that are gonna work. That's why I love this game. I love figure stuff out and for it to work. So yes, enough of that. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here with us for the kind of a 1.5 hour ish. It was awesome.
Yeah, it was fun. It was fun. I'm glad it went long. I really enjoyed myself. I think we had some awesome questions. Yeah. We had some tough holes coming up.
Definitely, and as you said, questions. Like the question was awesome, and bear that in mind to the next time as well. Like you can ask as many questions as possible. Just because we didn't answer your question doesn't mean that we ignore the question. It's just that we
Right.
need to keep a pace, but also that, you know, sometimes that question might not be suitable there for that specific situation. Also, quick here, just want to say, haven't said, we do have Shad Senior 123, Rostran Rupa, Ben McDaniel, Cipriano Garikoich. Thank you so much, all of you, for subscribing to the channel during the stream. Much appreciated. So, yes, link for the Textguides video description down below, both here and also on It's RJ TV. Don't forget to subscribe, and most of all, a big freaking good luck in the tournament. So I'm gonna leave it to RJ. He's the one that ends it up here when we do this. So
Happy stroking.